Hello everyone. Today I'm going to give you the summary of lesson number 12, The Elves and the Shoemaker from your course book. Who are elves? Children, elves are small creatures with pointed ears who has magic powers. And shoemaker is the person who makes shoes. And elves is the plural form of word elf, E-L-F. And the singular form is elf and the plural of elf is elves. The Elves and the Shoemaker, this is a fairy tale which is written by two brothers. Their name is Jacob Grimm and Wilhelm Grimm. So these two brothers wrote this fairy tale, and this fairy tale is about a poor shoemaker who receives much help from six young, helpful elves. Children, you know what is a fairy tale? Fairy tale is an example of a folklore. Folklore is the culture that is shared by a particular group of people. I have explained folklore before also in my videos. So fairy tale is an example of folklore, and folklore is the culture that is shared by a particular group of people. And fairy tale is an example of folklore that takes the form of short stories. And such stories, the fairy tales, features entities such as dwarfs, elves, fairies, giants, dragons, mermaids, talking animals, witches. And fairy tales mostly or usually has magic in it. And these are the characters which you can find in most of the fairy tales. So this is a fairy tale written by Jacob Grimm and Wilhelm Grimm. So moving further, the summary. Once upon a time, there was a kind and hard working shoemaker and his wife. Once upon a time, there was a kind shoemaker and his wife. They were hard working, but it was sad that nobody bought his shoes anymore, and they become poor. To console the shoemaker, his wife said not to worry, everything will be all right, and they went to bed. At midnight, 6 elves came into his workshop and saw the last piece of leather left in the workshop to make a pair of shoes. They took it and make a beautiful shoe. In the morning, the shoemaker and his wife were amazed to see the pretty little shoes lying on the table, and they wondered who made this lovely shoes. Soon a buyer saw the shoes and immediately bought them. The buyer gave money to the shoemaker, and he purchased some more leather from that money, and then shoemaker kept them again on the table of the workshop and went to bed. Again the elves came. They make lovely shoes from that leather, and this continued for many more nights. The shoemaker and his wife were puzzled and wanted to know who are their friends that are helping them. So they decided to stay awake that night and hid behind the curtain to find out who made the shoes for them. And they saw that the 6 elves are coming and stitching beautiful shoes for them. They felt lucky, how lucky they are. They thought of gifting something to these elves in return. These elves were wearing torn clothes, so the shoemaker's wife made tiny clothes for them. They both made best clothes, including the cutest pair of shoes for these friendly elves, and left them on the table next night. When the elves came, they were so happy to see new clothes. They put on the new clothes, they danced and sang in happiness, and went out of the shoemaker's house. They never returned again. The shoemaker and his wife continued to make best shoes in the town and sold them. They were happy then, they were no more poor. So, the moral of the story is that hard work is the secret to making dreams and wishes come true. The story shows that good things come from working hard. The shoemaker and his wife worked hard and they were rewarded by the elves who were coming to help them in their workshop. I hope you have understood the summary. In my next video, I'll be giving you the hard words and I'll be reading the story, reading the lesson from your book, and explaining you in simpler words. Thank you.